I know the video's title is a little bit dramatic, but I planted some additional seeds a few days ago. This happens to be a hot long pepper, and I put them on a heating pad and covered them with a dome, but I did not put the grow light on because they were still just seeds, right? But these peppers just sprouted up real quick. I mean, in a matter of 3 days, I would say. And they became leggy and spindly. So I need to replant these, and I'm gonna plant them deeper so they can develop a little better, because right now they're just too long. So that's the emergency. The process is the same as I showed you before with any transplanting of any seedling, but in this case it will be important for me to try to plant it as deep as possible. So they look more of a normal size peppers. And the more you knock off from the root, the deeper you can put it, because it will slide right in. Some people tell you that, oh, you have to hold these seedlings by their leaves, but that's really not needed. As long as you're really gentle, like you hardly holding it with your finger, you're not gonna damage the stem, because it is easy to damage the stem, and then the peppers don't recover. Tomatoes might, but peppers won't. So I have 6 of the hot peppers, long hot peppers, which is plenty for me. And then as far as the marigolds, I will transplant whatever has grown already long, but I can see that there's some more trying to hatch. So I'm actually gonna put back the seedling tray back onto the heating mat under the grow light, because I know there's gonna be more. So these are my hot peppers, and then these 3 or 4 will be my marigold, because I can see, I don't know if you can see that, but there is one, something is trying to grow, and I know I planted seeds in these cells as well, so I'm gonna let them try to come up. Yeah, that's the seed itself actually. So I might put in some extra ones, because I don't have a really good germination rate usually on marigolds for whatever reason. I do put it in, like they say, to stick it down, because it's like a long spike, so you just don't throw it in there, you have to stick it in the dirt. Anyway, let's plant these 4 as deep as possible again, because again they're just too leggy. Again, that's because I didn't have the grow light on them, didn't think that they're gonna actually come up in 3 days. That's my fault, but if I was home I would have noticed that they're already sprouting. So this last one is a tiny one, but what I'm gonna end up doing is taking this marigold tray, seed tray that I had before, and I don't think I showed you this before, but this is how I store my seeds. I have these cardboard dividers in this box. It could be a shoe box, anything, and I divide them by herbs on the front, and that's any kind of herb. The cabbages have their own section. Then I have broccoli and cauliflowers. Then I have any kind of melon, squash, or cucumber, big seeded items. And then I have leafy vegetables such as kale, spinach, anything like Swiss chard, salads and things like that. Next I have a section for onions and leeks. So these would be any kind of onion, green onion, bulb onion. Then I have peppers, which is many different kinds I have still that I could be planting. And then I have the root vegetables, which is the carrots and parsnips and radishes. And then of course tomatoes have its own section that has many homegrown seeds that I save. And I have some dollar store ones here. I have some special ordered. I have some really old seeds that's many years old. I'm gonna definitely plant purple Cherokee again. Homestead. These are heirloom tomatoes. So my dilemma is always what kind to plant this year, because I have at least 12 different kinds, gardener's delight, and so on. And then I have the flowers at the very end. And I do make my own little envelopes from scrap paper. I just cut them out into shape and glue them. And that's how I save my seeds, in these. So let's find a marigold. Here's my marigold. And I'll just reseed the marigolds so I can have more than just 4 little plants. And I'm just gonna stick these in again. These are little spikes like that, and I was always told to just poke it down. 1 or 2 per cell. I really just want to have at least 3 more, because although I put it in my vegetable beds to deter bugs, I also like to use it as decoration in the flower garden. So that's enough. And let's not forget, I'm trying to grow for 2 or 3 different gardens, really. I recently bought some really neat seeds. One of them I bought is Celeriac seeds. I really have really hard time growing Celeriacs. I may have grown like a single one in about 5 years, because I don't know if the seeds are just bad or doesn't like my environment, but I'm gonna try it again. I bought from a really good company. And also I'm gonna try to grow English cucumbers for fresh eating, and then I have these petite pickles for canning. I already planted my dill. The dill is already having true leaves, so that's gonna go with that. And then I want to grow some cutting flowers, so I bought these really interesting looking ones: hollyhock, pom-pom hollyhock, peach, and apricot, and larkspurs, and sweet peas for cutting flowers. For my home garden mostly, I think. But these are too early to plant, in my opinion. I will, however, gonna try to start some of the Celeriac seeds, because they do take a long time, and I want to see them by the time we reach the end of this month. And the last thing I want to do today is, I'm just having hardest time to start my beet seeds. I believe I planted them twice now. I don't know if I did the same bag or I did a different bag, but I really wonder how old this bag of beets are. See, I did tear off the year, and I know this had a lot in it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a wet paper towel. Matter of fact, let's do that. So for the beets, I'm gonna take a wet paper towel, just like that, and I'm gonna probably take half of this bag that's left, because I want to get at least half of it to sprout. I don't want to do the whole bag all at once, in case they all sprout, which they're not gonna. Then I'm gonna cover them with the wet paper towel. This paper towel is dirty only because my hands are dirty. Okay. And I will label this somehow, but what I want to do is take this and put it into a plastic bag so it will stay moist and warm. And I just have this really big bag laying around. You can probably use like a sandwich bag or a Ziploc bag. Put this in there, like flat. And I'm gonna put this onto the heating pad upstairs and see what happens to it in 3 or 4 days. See which ones are sprouting. So it has light and it has wetness. It should be sprouting, right? That's the idea. Let's finish the marigold replanting. I'm gonna have to label things here before I go any further. Just gonna reuse this soil, nice and wet. And then this is what I'm gonna use for the celeriac seeds. These are very tiny seeds, so I'm gonna try to be careful with them. And they were not cheap, but I figured I'm gonna get some good seeds hopefully. And it's a good amount, but they're just like dust. Can you see that? How tiny they are. So yeah, I do have plenty of seeds. So I'm gonna sprinkle, I don't know, 5-6 per cell. Only because they do have a really poor germination in my mind. And put back the rest. I love celeriac. It's not like celery. It has a more pungent flavor, even the green that comes off it. But the root itself definitely tasty. So because the seeds are so tiny, I'm not even gonna try to cover these. I think what I'm gonna do is, because sometimes that's what I think the problem is, I kind of just push them in a little bit so they still see the light, but they also have the moisture so they don't dry out. So it's kind of just mixing it into the top layer very lightly. That's what I'm gonna try. Maybe that's my problem. I do not know. Even if they sprout, eventually they just die off. That's have been my problem. So good luck, guys. Go, go, go. Alright, so I better start labeling, as I said, because I'm already beyond the point that I like to be. So this is celeriac. Okay, and I'll put that into my journal as to what date was this plant. This is the marigold replant. Those are all under the ground. That's good. And I'm gonna label the marigold transplants. And the other 6 are hot long. I did replant jalapenos from my old seed, but I don't know if that's gonna grow. So if I don't get jalapenos, these hot peppers will do for my substitution for jalapenos. Definitely are strong peppers as far as sprouting so early. Okay, do you? Okay, good. So get another tray. I have 2 trays here actually. And this is gonna go up. The transplants are gonna go over to the natural light, and the new seed's gonna go into the heating pad, including the beets on the paper towel, on the heating pad and under the light. I'm not gonna take chances where I miss the sprouts because they come so fast. Okay, so I'm not gonna yet plant tomato seeds. I really want to, but that's something that I'm gonna wait another week. Today is March 5th. I really want to, but they do get too big in the house that I feel sorry for them when I need to transplant them outside. So I'm just gonna hold off 1 more week, and that should be perfect timing for my last frost date. I'm gonna plant them out the beginning of May, including the peppers. I tend to go the first weekend of May or the second weekend of May. So see you next time.